Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Coach Aaron. So just completed timeless, simple. So the 32 kilo, which is basically 70 pounds. So what is timeless? What is timeless? Simple and sinister using the simple load. It's basically the simple standard, which is 32 kilo bell, right? 70 pounds, 10 reps on each arm for 5 minutes. So basically 10 reps every half minute for 5 minutes or whatever tempo you want to use, as long as it's under 5 minutes. And then you have a 1 minute break, and then you'll complete one Turkish get up every arm, alternating with the same weight. And you have 10 minutes for that. So basically one get up every minute on the minute for 10 minutes. And that's basically the simple standard of simple and sinister. A pretty good, timeless, simple training session looks like everything's practice. You're just practicing, making sure your shoulders are square, making sure you're using your hips, making sure the bell is swinging in the best path possible. You're keeping your arms straight, using your hips, making sure you're still parking the bell. You're keeping those cues always on your mind so it becomes automated. When I'm getting to the get up, I'm still reminding myself to make sure that I'm using my core, make sure I'm bracing my core, make sure I'm spreading the earth with my heels and my elbow, make sure I'm keeping my arms straight from the top to the bottom, make sure I'm not plopping back down on the ground. So I'm using that as my practice. You do that enough times, right? You get up in the morning when you're tired and you do it. You do it in between lunch when you don't feel like doing it, and you do it. Or you do it right after work, or right before right when you pick the kids up, you make them dinner and you get them in front of TV really quickly and you go train, You do it in between homework breaks. If you're going to school, right? That's what you do. Or all of the above, right? In my case, all of the above. You just practice. Before you know it, you'll have the simple standard. But this is what simple, timeless looks like. You'll see sometimes I do 11 reps. I always do one extra if I can, because I know when I'm practicing, I'm not counting. So sometimes I did 9 reps. All in all, I'm pretty sure I did 100 reps. If not, it was a practice, right? It's a practice. But this is what the simple standard looks like in simple and sinister timeless. All right, check it out. Enjoy. Do me a favor, leave comments below. I love this training. I devoted my first 1 to 2 years in kettlebell training was literally swings and get-ups, crawls, and carries. I did under the tutelage of Mr. Al Chiampa, SFG. I learned a lot. I would never, if I can go back again, I'd do the same exact thing. This is the foundation. All right, enjoy.
It starts with the part of accountability. You're going to break open that callus, that scar in your mind. You don't want to break it, you have to break it open with that blood flow. There's enough blood flow in your brain. You let all that stuff flow out. All that toxic stuff that you have trapped in there has to start flowing out. It's painful to you.
All right, so one thing you're going to see right away is that I really do focus on my technique. I want to make sure that even though when I see a lot of people do this type of training, or they're doing their simple sinister test, a lot of their form will kind of degrade, or they'll use maybe the easier form where their trunk is really twisted, their knees bend way forward. They start using whatever they can to get the bell up. But I'm a huge proponent to maintaining technique. When I first started training with my kettlebells, I guess you want to call it throwing out my back. I was always throwing out my back because I would use that technique. And man, I've been injured a lot especially as a teenager and young man doing powerlifting. Trying to squat really deep with poor mobility. I hurt my lower back. I've busted my knee up, middle back, hips, and the more you stray away from proper technique, the more likely you are to get injured or re-injured. And so I'm a huge proponent for maintaining technique no matter what I'm doing. So even if I'm going to do a test, I have to make sure my technique is perfect. And this ensures that I can continue training every single day. I don't work out, I train. And I don't test myself every day. I train. I just train. If my form is degrading and I feel I'm not where I need to be, I rest longer or I train another day. And that's the whole point of Simple and Sinister Timeless, is that you're able to train, you're able to practice. Make sure your hips are pushing back. Make sure your feet are grounded, they're not flopping up and down, you're not swinging the bell and becoming actually imbalanced. You want to maintain very, very square shoulders. And the only way to do that is to turn on the opposite obliques and core muscles that you normally shut off. You'll see a lot of people they rotate over excessive rotating. I guarantee you that the other side of the core is being turned off. It's not used as much. And the reason why I know is because I used to swing the exact same way. So swinging with square shoulders, your whole core is lit up. And that's the beauty of this type of training. When you train this way, you can start adding weight quicker, smoother, but you just have to be patient.
I had no growth. Why? Because I was living comfortably. So I realized for me to find growth, I had to face all these different things that made me very, very uncomfortable. One thing I faced was running. I absolutely hated running. But I knew for me to grow, I had to do this thing every single day. I wanted to start callousing my mind. I wanted to start becoming a better person. And how do you become a better person? How do you gain mental toughness? How do you become the person you want to be? Is constantly facing the things that you don't want to face. If you constantly run away from things that you don't want to face, how is your growth? How is your mental toughness? I can give you a class all day long about self-talk, visualization, eat an elephant one bite at a time. But if you're never putting yourself in a situation to actually practice these things, you're never going to grow. I can't put you out there we're all going through a battle. A warrior is not a person that trains to play. The biggest war you'll ever go through is right between your own ears. It's in your mind. We're all going through a war in your mind. And we have to callous our mind to fight that war and to win that war. Once the mind knows you're not going to quit something, it's going to try to find more. It's going to try to give you more. Once you realize it, you're not going to take the path of least resistance. You're going to stay here until it's done. My mind and my body and my spirit became one. The first time ever. The first time ever became one. And I went to a level that I never thought was humanly possible for myself or anybody else. In that shape that I was in, I was able to run 19 miles. And I ran 19 miles, did 100 miles, actually did one more mile. I did 101 miles in 22 hours and 56 minutes. I've overcome so many obstacles in my life, and this was the final crucible for me. And I got through it. And at the end of this race was such clarity to me. And it was just the most amazing thing I ever did in my life.
I need to see a doctor, but I want to make sure it's private.
At 114 in young adult health centers, we offer affordable, confidential, and compassionate care. Visit tya.health.
So right there, I basically caught myself getting a little too excited, starting to hyperventilate a little bit, and I just put my hand over my chest and over my stomach to remind me, breathe through my stomach, use my diaphragm, slow my breathing, calm down. I'm just training. I'm not testing, not yet. There's a few more cycles of this before I will test myself to see how well I do with the 32, then the 40 kilobell bell, which is my goal. It's my first goal. So basically right here, I'm basically showing you all that are viewing what's going through my head. What are the cues that I'm looking for, right? I'm grabbing the bell and making sure my other hand's on top of the bell so that I can square my shoulders. I am keeping my chest up, loading my hips. And then right before I begin swinging, I really load my hips, which helps bring the bell into the hike position. It's basically all I'm doing. So when I start getting a little bit tired, I shake my hands out a little bit, shake my feet out, move them around. Really and truthfully, it's just called fast loose drill. Pavel is the guy who I have read his books, and he suggests doing that in between every set to really calm the nervous system, get the blood flowing through like it should, so you can be fresher for your next set. Alright, glasses flew off. I think I only did 9. Hopefully it was 100 total with a couple extra reps for the first set, but that's it. That's how the swings look. You can take as long as you want or as short as you want. And then you immediately go into the get-ups, Turkish get-ups using the same weight. In this instance, I rested about a minute and a half-ish, I believe. And the first get-up was the hardest, but it actually got easier as I went on, since I love get-ups and I love doing them heavy. So the 32 was it felt pretty good.
And trying to find your best self. So there's tricks to all this crap in life. Life is one big head game. One trick in this situation is, so I didn't want to run. So what do? I picked out a couple of things. Yeah, but sometimes that mediocrity think that you're getting into. So I said, you know what, instead of going for a 20-miler, so go out for an easy 6 or 7. What that did in my brain was it said, okay, maybe I'll be fine with 1. So that instantly, I know that, oh, this is gonna suck. This could be okay, it's not too bad. The second you get to mile 2, guess what happens? Greatness pulls mediocrity in the fucking mud. Get out there and get after it. You want to go about the right mindset, the right gear. In combat, you wear body armor. But what we do wrong is we don't strengthen our minds. You gotta strengthen your mind, take control of that. So then when you get out in the real world, and they fuck you up, you got protection. So I'm about 15 miles from home, and I often talk about taking souls. This morning, this person, I usually train alone. This person wanted to run with me. And I said, fine, I'm gonna run 15. This morning comes, this storm's coming in this way, and the person calls and said, hey, why don't we do it tomorrow? Taking souls, and I told the motherfucker, I'm gonna run 15 today, and I'll run with you again tomorrow. That's what taking souls is about. Don't worry about the elements and what's going on. You gotta get out there and get it. He wasn't the only one. I thought about taking the day off, because the storm is coming in right now, and there's not a soul out here but me. If you want to get better, do the shit that no one else wants to do. Do the shit that no one else is even thinking about doing. At the end of the day, hard work may not be enough. You still may fail. Just stay at it, buddy. More things you can do. Get outside of that zone. That zone makes you feel good. The stronger your mind's gonna get. It starts getting used to doing shit like this. It's not fun. My mind's used to it. I went past a cemetery last month. And I went past the cemetery. It saddens me because there's a lot of people there, not because they're dead, because of untapped potential. A lot of us die, never tap into our full potential. And I often look at wash rags when I wring them out and roll them up as my soul. And I'll be satisfied until every drop of that wash rag, which is my soul, is completely run out. So, in my life, I won't be satisfied until everything I have in me is completely out of me. And that's when I'll be satisfied. I'm not the best at anything. I'm not gifted. I'm just driven. I'm a guy that came from nothing. Anybody's capable of doing shit like this. Anybody. And I sat in that tub. She put the water on me. She called my mom up. My mom was dating a doctor at the time. The doctor said, you need to get him to a hospital now. She came back in. All I wanted to do was call Chris Kaufman on the phone and ran straight to the bad water so I could get it. So she said, take it to the doctor. I said, no, let me sit here and enjoy this pain. She said, what are you talking about? I said, you don't. I go, I need to go to the doctor. I realized that. But I never thought it was humanly possible to do what I did. I went 70 miles. And at 70 miles, I was dead. I was at 100%. What I thought was 100%. I went 31 more miles after being in the worst physical shape I've ever been in my life. And I sat in that tub and the water hit me, and it was the most amazing feeling of accomplishment. I did this. And as crazy as it sounds, it was the most amazing moment of my entire life. To overcome to come from this kid who was torturing himself and was tortured, he was taught to this guy now. He was able to overcome such amazing odds and obstacles. And I called Chris Kaufman, the race director of Badwater, and he said, the idea of a 24-hour race is to run 24 hours. He really ran 19. And he put doubt in my mind that he would have been Badwater. 2 weeks later, roughly, December 5th, was this marathon that we all signed up for. I couldn't walk. I could not walk.
You don't know me, son!
I ran 100 miles before I ran a marathon. 10 days or 2 weeks after this 100-mile and one race I did, this marathon, December 5th in Las Vegas. That gun went off 2005, 14 days after I built myself off, and I qualified for the Boston Marathon and ran 3:08. The gun went off, and that thing came back. Like, all right, man, what if? And then I went to the Hook 100, racing Hawaii, 26,000 feet of climbing over 100 miles. Probably one of the top 5 hardest 100-mile races in the world. Got there and got through the race. Did it in 33 hours with a 9th place finisher, and I qualified for Badwater and got in. I went on to lose weight and trained hard, and I got 5th my first year, and went back my second year and got there. I'm trying to find more of myself. And the only way I can find more is to silence the world out as much as I can, because it's getting busier every day. It's getting faster. I put my phone away and I go dark. I go dark a lot, and it's because I have to find out. I'm on a journey of life, and we all have a different journey. I like to take this 4-lane highway, the easy highway. We all love that 4-lane highway. We always step over the shovel. That shovel, I'm in my own path. But going through this path of life, this journey over here that you make yourself, that's incredibly difficult, and we're afraid. It's easier to accept the fact that I'm just not good enough. You have to go into the dark chambers that we often shut off, and you gotta open them up. It does not sound easy, lit up, street lights right half with nice smooth roads, right? Fail, and you're gonna be in your head, you're gonna be saying, I'm not good enough. And it's how you get through that. It's how you get through that on a daily basis when that thing is saying, man, I'm 43, I've done so much. You start to become civilized. The refrigerator gets full. You start making money, and you start, I'm not getting cold anymore, I'm retired. At 40, people shouldn't be playing basketball or football. Or at 43, I'm still pulling 100-mile weeks, still doing thousands of pull-ups, thousands of push-ups, because I'm not allowing myself to become civilized. The worst thing that can happen to a man is become civilized. You want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. Period. You start putting yourself in situations that suck, you find yourself. I'm big on being with yourself. I want to be forever proud of who I was as a man and change who I used to be. The liar, the insecure guy, the guy who can, whatever. I want to be proud. If I die now, if I die at 80, if I die at 90, 100, I look at myself and say, proud of myself. I believe in patience. I'm a patient dude. I can watch.
Who's gonna keep going?
For 20 years.
Who's still going? Who's still going?
This is how you get somewhere.
Who's still going? Come on. Who's still going?
Mentality. You watch something, very calmly, patiently. I can do faster. You judge your brain.
And after this rep, I decided to do 2 lunges. Just because I thought, why the heck not, right? I'm training. I'm trying to get better. Trying to be better. Why not? And that's basically timeless simple. You keep progressing. Shorten the time frames. Wave it a little bit. Some weeks might be longer time frames. Rest. Other weeks might be less rest. Until you feel confident enough to test, pass it, and go for Sinister. Peace out. God bless.